Welcome! It's another video. It's been a couple of weeks. I think it's been 3 weeks since I last did one. Maybe two. I'm not sure. But yeah, been a little while. So got quite a few things to catch up on. Um, First thing, if you can hear, I'm not sure how good the mic is. I know it's pretty good. If it's picking that up in the background, I'm actually listening to uh, Buddhist meditation music. Um, I haven't totally lost the plot, um, but I have brought a few things in training wise, and I like it. I like it to relax, chill. There are supposed to be benefits, whether people believe them or not. The particular one I'm listening to at the moment is actually a healing mantra, which is quite useful because I've still got a bad shoulder, and I even picked up a leg injury in the week, uh, my left thigh muscle, whilst cycling, which I did at the end of a 24-hour fast, which may have, I don't know if that would have had some bearing on it, but tweaked it quite badly, and consequently I haven't gone training today. It's the first training session, apart from the week that I actually took off, made a decision to take off. It's the first training session I've missed. But yeah, as I say, I'm sort of carrying a little bit of a niggle, nothing too serious, but decided to miss it off. So anyway, listening to a Buddhist chant, healing mantra in the background whilst doing the video. Another thing to mention, sorry, I've still got, would you believe, sleep in my eyes, even though I've been up for about 3 hours. A bit wrong. The other thing to mention is I'm a little bit cold. We are getting into the winter months. Oh, wonky glasses. I'm such a OCD person, I tell you. Definitely developed OCD in my latter years. I have started to do what they call cold treatment or cryo treatment. I've been looking into it. Now, I'm not great with the cold, if I'm honest, but I want to start using it as much as I can, because the theory is one of the benefits of cryo treatment is that it helps to turn white fats into brown fats, or certainly beige fats, and get the white fats acting like brown fats. And that's really beneficial, especially when you've got a midriff still 17 weeks into my training as big as mine. So we want to lose some of that white fat, that white adipose tissue that we've built up over the years. So because I'm not great with cold, I can't do the ice baths or the cold showers. Ooh, going out of focus. So where I've gone with it is to sit in my room, with the room under or 19 degrees or below, which in these winter months is achievable. Then I have two electric fans that I turn on full blast, one of which is literally straight on me, and I sit there for 2 hours in my underpants. Too much information, I know. I'm obviously doing stuff. So whether that's working on the computer or watching the telly, so I don't just sit there like a vegetable for two hours. I am doing stuff. Now I don't know how many days a week I need to be doing it, whether I need to do it for every day, or whether I, 3-4 times a week, whatever. I need to sort of clarify that. But I have, I'm going to reference a couple of people online. Dr. Benjamin Bickman, who's a PhD at a university in America, Brigham Young, has spoken about it. And more recently, I listened to Dr. Rhonda Patrick, who also really believes in cold therapy or cryotherapy. Now, another thing that I'm looking into is there are cryo chambers, and I think they're the ones that sort of go up to the neck, and then there are actual rooms, cryo rooms that you can go into, and like the temperature is like minus 160 odd degrees. You don't stay in there for a massive of time. I think it's like a couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes maybe. But unfortunately, they're very rare and hard to find, and I don't even know what the expense of them are. The one that I've found nearest to me is about 20 miles away at Moulton College, part of their sports therapy setup. I have actually got an email back from them, so I need to read that and see what the situation is. Certainly this side of Christmas, even though we've got a couple of months to go yet till Christmas, but certainly this side of Christmas, that won't be getting added to my routine. Maybe sometime in the new year, if I can get a few things in place, one of which would be to have a car, because I don't drive, or I drive, but I haven't got a car at the moment, and to go to Moulton College and back twice a week, which is what I'd be looking to do, obviously would be quite hard. So yes, I'm listening to chant music, Buddhist chant music, mantras. Yes, I've introduced cold therapy or cryotherapy to my routine. I've also found out quite a bit about, I guess, the opposite of cryotherapy, which is hypothermic conditioning. Hitting you with all the science today. Now, hypothermic conditioning, where I use it, and again, I don't know if there are other forms or things, I guess going into the desert would be hypothermic, but anyway, there's quite a lot of talk going on about saunas and the benefits of using a sauna after a workout, and how that is basically hypothermic conditioning, and the benefits that it has. Now again, I'm still only learning this, so I want to put a disclaimer out there with, the stuff that I'm talking about. Please research it yourself. Listen to the Benjamin Bickmans and the Dr. Rhonda Patricks of the world who know this far, far better. I mean, they've got PhDs, okay? Let's get serious. Okay? I don't even know what PhD stands for. So, oh man, this camera today is doing, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just not focused. But yeah, they're obviously a lot more on the science side of things. But as I understand hypothermic conditioning, and this is saying, I mean, I've always loved the sauna after my training, and you think of the benefits, everyone thinks cleansing the skin, all of those things, getting detoxing. Well, one thing I'll just quickly say on detoxing is I did watch Eric Berg, Dr. Eric Berg, talking about the benefits of sauna, and he did say that when it comes to detoxing, you don't really detox the real bad toxic stuff in your body doesn't come out that easily. So again, he says that can be a little bit exaggerated. It's fat embedded, or some term he used. So but I've always enjoyed a sauna afterwards, and apparently there are some benefits, because What a sauna does, without question or scientifically proven, is it activates heat shock proteins in your body, and apparently there are loads of benefits from that happening. So yeah, I see a lot of people, like, maybe they're on a tight schedule time wise, but they go in, do their quick gym routine and then leave, and I'm just sitting there thinking, you know, the benefit of this hypothermic conditioning is very good. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to bore you with science. Look it up. Okay, look up hypothermic conditioning. Look up heat shock proteins, and another one to look up, which again I think, which one is it created by? The cold or the hot? Oh God. There's another thing called FOXO3A. And I'm pretty sure that's part of the hypothermic conditioning, one of the things that's released by the body. And trust me, when you do the little research bit on hypothermic conditioning and the other two, the heat shock proteins and the FOXO3A, you will understand why I'm sounding quite buzzy about it. And glad that it's part of my routine. Okay, so for this video, I made a list. Now we're 10 minutes in, or 11 minutes in, and I haven't even started on my list yet, so I'm going to try and work through my list fairly quickly. But as you know, my videos inevitably all run on 30-40 minutes. So this is week 17. I got a little bit confused. I was trying to work out, am I on week 16? Am I on week 17? This is definitely week 17, even though we are at the tail end of it. So we've now been training just over 4 months. Last video I did, I mentioned the fact that I went the wrong side again, that my mum come in through the door mid-video, and I had to scrap that video because she would not have appreciated being in my video, and I had to do a take 2. Luckily, I was only about 10 minutes into it. Weren't no big deal. But I did mention that my mum was 75, or was about to be 75, because it's her birthday on Monday, in 3 days' time. My mum is 73, 74 on Monday, and not 75 on Monday. So I apologise, Mum, if you see the other video where I mention you being a year older, a year sooner. I've corrected it now, so she's 73, but she still ponders around, does the cleaning. I tell her not to, but yeah. So that's good. Right. Next thing on my list is to recap weight loss from the 2nd of September. And there's a reason why I'm doing that. And I'll come to that next, which is the whole thing. So here's my big pack of weigh-in slips. Now, again, I've said I use the same kind of machine, but in the time I've been weighing in, I've had to use 3 different ones, two different locations in Boots. So one Boots in central Milton Keynes and the Boots more locally at Westcroft, and the other one is the machine that's at my gym. And obviously that is my now preference go-to machine. Right. So on the 2nd of September, I weighed in at 18 stone. A week later, on the 19th of September, I was still 18 stone, so I hadn't lost any weight at all. Was not a happy chappy. However, sorry, just skip up. Yeah, so I hadn't lost any weight. On the 16th, however, I went down by 3 pounds to 17.11. On the 23rd of September, I was still 17.11. I hadn't lost a pound. But the biggie, on the 30th of September, I dropped 7 pounds. Now, what I'm basically showing you by that is I've had quite a few weeks where I've lost nothing, or at best 1 pound. and I'm fine with that. Um, like I've said many times, uh, out of focus. Weight loss is the number 5 reason for doing this on my list of priorities. Weight loss is number 5, and I think of it as a nice bonus. But obviously, when I lost £7, I was like, wow. And in the time I've been doing this, I've had a week where I lost £4, a week where I lost £3, and a week where I lost £7. Now, if I could consistently do that, I would be really happy, and would obviously be losing a lot of weight at the same time. I mean, trust me, my t-shirts are fitting a lot better. I'm feeling a lot leaner, but still I have a really big midriff, belly. That's where I carry, I think, a lot of my weight. So there's a long way to go. You know, at 17.4, my last weigh-in at the end of September, you know, there's a real long way still to go. So it's been very inconsistent, and I can't really explain why in one week I have lost 0 and in another week I've lost 7. You know, it's been ironic that some weeks where I felt like I've had a bad week, I've actually lost weight, and then a week where I thought I've really been on it, I've not lost weight. So yeah, it's kind of a bit of an unexplained. But as I say, it's not a key priority. It's just an added bonus. And as well as weight loss, I guess there's also body fat percentage loss, and that is, I think, I've lost just under 10% of body fat percentage. So I'm happy with that. But again, still a really long way to go. When you're starting something, you're nearly 9. Well, I started at 18.3 and somehow put £7 on the first week of keto. So, you know, I still view it that I started on 18.3, but I've come down from 18.10. You know, I had a lot of weight to lose. My target weight is 14 stone. And I guess my dream weight would be sort of 13. I can't remember last time I was 13 stone. Probably when I was born. Probably come out about 12, 11. Anyway, so since the end of September, and we're now the 25th of October, I've not weighed in, or should I say I have weighed in 3 times, but I haven't looked at the results. That was something I decided on doing and think it was a bit of a mistake, if I'm honest. You know, you've got that question in weighing in and viewing the results more frequently. I guess it can be a motivation, but then at the same time, it could be a demotivation. So I think moving forward, I will weigh in every week and reveal every 2 weeks. So review the results every 2 weeks, not every week, but every 2 weeks. But what I decided to do at the end of September was to do a 5-week period. I think the fact that I was in the 17s and 17.4, you know, not that far off the 16s, was a big motivation. And I think what I was worried about, and maybe made me do it the way I did it, was going back up. Maybe even jump in, well, not jumping from 17.4 back into the 18s, obviously, but yeah, I think that was my concern, that, you know, I couldn't understand the £7 loss. I did do a 36-hour fast, and it wasn't that long after that, and I was sitting there thinking, oh, is that maybe giving a bit of a false reading? So I think I set myself this 5-week thing, which I'm 3 weeks into. Monday will be 4 weeks. I'm going to do it. And then after the 5th week, I will do the big reveal of what the 5 weeks results were. So that won't be next week. I may not do a video next week. unless something needs reporting on, and the week after will include the 5 weeks results. I would like to think that moving from 17 for 5 weeks on, that I'm in the 16s somewhere. But like I said, when I got the result of the £7 loss, I said, who knows, next week I might put £7 on. So, you know, it is so much, you know, of an unknown. But I don't think the 5 weeks was a good idea, and from after that, it'll be every 2 weeks. Right, I've now put together a couple of things. So I've now put forward, I don't know how much people can see this, but this is my training week grid. If I hold it long enough, if anyone wants to freeze it, pause it, whatever you want to call it. So basically, I now do, from the 7-day week, I have 3 different kinds of day. So let's call the first kind of day a normal day. So a normal day for me, which are Mondays, Mondays, Thursdays and Fridays, are my normal days, which are basically 12-hour fasts, not at least 12 hours, but allow me 3 meals a day. I've always been a kind of 2 meal a day person, but on them days, especially because Monday and Friday are my 2 gym days, I allow myself 3 meals a day. So as well as my brunch meal and my dinner meal, I allow myself like a snacky kind of light meal. Not massive, but just a third meal. I then have 2 16-hour fasting days. So those 3 normal days are at least 12. Sometimes they run slightly over, but normally 12. Then I allow myself 2 16-hour fasting days, and they are Tuesday and Saturday. Now that normally just means having my last meal at night about 8 o'clock, and then not eating until 12 o'clock the next day. 16 hours. Easy. With the sleep and everything in the middle of it, easy. And then I have 2, well, I wrote down here 22 hours, but I try and make them 24-hour fasts. So that will normally mean, again, eating 8 o'clock my last meal, and then not eating until 8 o'clock at night the next day. So a 24-hour fast. And on those days, coming off of the fast, because that's what I deem as extended fast as opposed to the intermittent fast, the shorter fast, I come off of them in a very particular way. I try and go onto them in a very particular way, with a very particular meal prior to the fast, and I try and come off of them a very particular way. This was based on watching mainly Thomas DeLuca and what he says is a good way to go into a fast and a good way to come out of a fast. I'm not going to bore you with the sciencey bits, but again, if you put into YouTube Thomas DeLuca, you know, like good meal to start fast, good meal to end fast, you'll see what he says. So yeah, basically 3 12-hour fasts, 2 16-hour fasts, and 2 24-hour fasts is what makes up my my week dietary wise, with the fasting obviously being a big part of that, both the intermittent and the extended fast. Now I then do, at the start of the next month, a 36-hour extended fast, and again that has the going into and the coming out, you know, doing it the right way. So I have got to say I do feel good with that as part of it. The other thing I'm going to show you quickly, if you can see this, and again I'm going to hold it for a minute just so if people want to freeze it. that is the current week that I'm on now. Oh, got me, yeah, so the 21st of the 10th to the 27th of the 10th. And they are my blood sugars, the first number, the bigger number. And then my ketone readings. So going pretty good. After my HbA1c result being down to 6, which is friggin' amazing, I did say that I didn't know if I'd be able to get my next reading, which has got to be taken on the 17th of December, so still quite a way away, whether I could achieve the same result and get it at 6 as well. Certainly from the results I've been taking, I obviously take my blood sugar and my ketone readings 3 times a day. From those results, I've got to say it's looking good. I am still in the process of reducing my insulin, with the ultimate goal of being off of insulin completely by December this year. Just a little reminder, when I started this on the 1st of July, I used to take 2 different forms of insulin. A slow release insulin called Lantus, and I used to take 14 units at night. I now take none. I've totally eradicated the need for Lantus. The second insulin I was taking was a quick release insulin called Humulin. I was taking 24 units twice a day. Once in the morning with my morning meal, brunch meal, and then once at night with my evening meal. And I was taking 24 units twice a day. I'm now taking 6 units twice a day. So I've got rid of one insulin completely, 100% reduction, and I've reduced the other insulin by 75%. So I'm pretty chuffed with that. I've reduced my other medication, my tablet form medication, glycoside and Humulin, metformin, by 50% as well. In addition to the reduction in insulin, my tablet forms have both come down by 50%. I didn't know if it was going to be possible to totally eradicate insulin. My diabetic nurse, or the nurse that was standing in, did say to me that that would be the challenge, to get rid of it completely. So that kind of just re-motivated me to say, well, fuck it, let's see if I can totally eradicate insulin. And the goal is to reduce it down basically by 1 unit every 2 weeks. I've just started, or this week was when I started on the 6, so it'll be this week and next week. Then I'll go down to 5 for the next 2, 4 for the 2 after that, and then from 4 we just stop. So we'll see. Obviously monitoring the blood sugars to make sure we don't see any sort of spike. But everything so far seems to suggest that we're going to be able to do it. So brilliant. If it comes off, I will be happy. Okay, next thing. Tested macros. So there are a lot of apps you can put on, and you can upload meals, you know, that you have regularly in there. I've not really worked that bit out. There's a lot of stuff that's already in there. Apparently there's one app that you can scan saying, and it registers it. I decided not to do that. I haven't done that yet. I've actually downloaded one onto my phone, but I've not used it. But over the space of about 3 or 4 days, I made a point of manually making a note of how much fat, how much carbs, how much protein, how many calories, and matched it with my macro that I got from the keto calculator that told me what my macros were or should be. And all I can say is they were pretty spot on. So I was really happy with that. The only thing that maybe on a couple of occasions crept over was the total amount of calories, maybe went 100 calories over the 2150 that I should be eating. So it's just like making little minor tweaks. But yeah, tested out the macros, and in general, they were pretty spot on. Next thing I wrote down here, struggling with ketone levels. Could it be due to my diabetes, injecting insulin? So I've wondered about the science of what creates ketones, basically in the liver. Acetyl-CoA getting converted either into lipid or into ketone, and that being dictated by how much insulin you have in your body, whether that's your body producing it or taking in exogenous ketones. No, exogenous insulin, I meant to say. Yeah. So I think the fact that I've been reducing my insulin that I've been injecting obviously means my insulin levels are coming down, and hopefully just generally improving my health. I'm the type 2 diabetic thing where I'm insulin resistant, so I don't know again if becoming more insulin sensitivity, improving my insulin sensitivity will help with that. I'm guessing that does. I guess that's how it works. But again, this is where I need Benjamin Berkman one side and Rhonda Patrick the other side to tell me for sure. But what I'm hoping is, as I reduce my insulin further and ultimately hopefully stop it completely, I can see an increase in the ketone production in my body. But definitely the last week, I've seen an improvement. It's still not perfect. It's still not up there where I want it to be, but I've definitely seen an improvement. So I'm happy with that. Did perfect keto products work? Exogenous ketones. Okay. So I spent a lot of money. They're not cheap, but they're not by far the most expensive ones on the market. But I spent, in my opinion, a considerable amount of money on gambling for a month on perfect keto. I bought their exogenous ketones, I bought their MTC oil powder, and I bought their collagen. Now, one thing I would say, sorry, I probably shouldn't have done this just after I'd had my breakfast. I'm struggling. One thing I would say is, since I started taking it as a shake, I have a big shake bottle thing that I blender bottle. That's the name. That's the brand, blender bottle. I put almond milk, Alpro almond milk, and then I put the free exogenous ketones, MTC oil, and collagen. What I would say straight off the bat is, since I did that, I have definitely been sleeping better. It has really, really improved my sleep. Going to sleep, falling asleep much easier, and then a much deeper sleep, and dreaming, having really vivid dreams. So apparently collagen part, I don't know if I already said that before I started that sentence. Might be repeating myself. So I hear that collagen, one of the benefits, is helping with sleep. So that's got to be a positive. But I cannot see, in all honesty, that it has really improved my ketones. I mean, a little bit. This week, as I say, like last week and this week, they've been up slightly. But I still struggle to get them up to 1 and above. And I'm certainly not getting them up into the starry heights of 3. When I fast, I normally see a jump in the ketones. When I train hard, I normally see a jump in the ketones. But nothing, I would say, noticeable when it comes to the exogenous ketones that I've been taking. Now again, whether that's saying that my body is making it hard to create ketones, even exogenous ones, I thought they come in ready-made saying that. And I also heard a really negative thing potentially about exogenous ketones. I've always said the jury is out on them. There's not enough medical proof yet, I don't believe, certainly not that I know of or have seen, to say how well or indefinitely they work. But I heard Dr. Benjamin Bickman, who, as I say, is like one of my heroes, saying that potentially exogenous ketones could be getting turned into fat. So might be having the obverse effect, or an obverse effect. So yeah, I'm not really sure. There's so much one side of the fence, the other side of the fence. Bottom line, will I be reordering for November? No. Will I be reordering in December? Maybe. But if not, I probably will give them another shot in January. A second chance, you could call it. No, you know, just I'm thinking, hopefully by then I'll be totally off my insulin, my exogenous insulin that I inject. So it might be interesting. And plus it'll be after Christmas and the celebrations and the little naughty treats. Oh, look at me getting excited at the thought of a roast potato. So yeah, it might be a nice addition again, but as I say, cost wise fairly expensive. By the time all the bits were bought, it was pushing on nearer 200 than 100, let's put it that way, pounds as well. Okay, mention insulin still coming down, already done that. Set target to be off insulin completely December this year. Right, just there's two things left. I'm actually going to do them in the opposite order as to what they were wrote down as. I watched a video by Thomas DeLawyer, another one of my heroes for sure, even after what I'm about to say. And in that video, he talked about breaking a fast, and he said to have a handful of almonds and to eat them at the end of your fast, and then an hour later to eat some nice clean protein with maybe a little bit of MCT oil on it. However, I can't re-find that video, which is doing my head in, and B, I've subsequently watched two videos from him that now says almonds are not good. They are apparently an anti-nutrient. So we threw away the almonds. I mean, literally, an expensive packet of almonds went into the bin, and my new nut combo are pecans, walnuts, and macadamia nuts. And the reason for this, and again, I'm not going to baffle you with science, but the nutrient sort of bio for those are all really good when it comes to high fat, low carb. Very good as well for the omega oils. And a new thing, again, that I've been sort of pointed in the direction of by watching Thomas DeLawyer's videos, especially the ones on what are good nuts, is omega-7. I've heard of omega-3, I've heard of omega-6, but I hadn't heard of omega-7, and apparently there's omega-9. With that little combination of nuts, you're getting all of those nutrients that you need. And again, there's a whole bunch of benefits. One of them, again, is insulin sensitivity with the omega-7 oil. So just another little nutritional tweak that we're making as well. Don't get me wrong, I don't sit there and eat a bag of nuts. That would not be a good thing. We're talking about 25 to 30 grams of a combination of them nuts as like a little booster, little protein kind of fat booster throughout the day. The final thing, yay! Up until now on social media, I've used my personal social media, so my personal Facebook, my personal Instagram to talk about Keto Life and what I've been doing since July the 1st and how it's impacted on my diabetes, what it's done for my blood sugars. I've shared pictures of my food, I've shared pictures of my blood sugar readings, even the odd occasional gym picture. I have decided that that is no longer how I'm going to do things. The videos as well that I've done have been posted on a profile I have on YouTube called Fat Boy Poker, which dates back from when I used to play a lot more poker. Still love poker, but just don't get to play it as much. So this will be the last video that gets posted on Fat Boy Poker. I have created a brand, a character. I am now Crazy Keto Guy. I have bought the domain name crazyketoguy.com. There's nothing on there at the moment, even though that depends when you're watching this video. And I've also set up social media platforms on Instagram as Crazy Keto Guy, on Twitter as Crazy Keto Guy, and I now have a page under my Facebook as Crazy Keto Guy. So if you go on any of them, at Crazy Keto Guy will find you me. I think you'd probably have to put at, certainly on Twitter and Facebook. I'm not sure about Instagram. It will still be the same sort of thing, me talking about, you know, keto, intermittent fasting, any new stuff, like I said, with the hypothermic conditioning and the cryotherapy, and just things that I think can be beneficial to people. Look, I'm going to give you a bottom line here. The bottom line is my diabetes had been ignored for 15 years and I was about to put myself in the ground. I feel fitter. I feel more energetic. I feel more focused, more concentrated, and it's getting better. I'm not going to go back for the sake of a box of donuts or chips or any of those. Yeah, I still have cravings, yeah, and I'll still have treat days where I might even indulge myself. But the bottom line is, if you've got diabetes and you are struggling, now we're talking type 2 diabetes here. I understand type 1 diabetes is a completely different beast. But if you've got type 2 diabetes and you are struggling to control it through medication, which if you listen to Dr. Jason Fong, he makes quite a good argument that we're treating diabetes in completely the wrong way. I think his analogy, which I've mentioned before, was it would be like treating an alcoholic by giving them more alcohol. We are not doing it the right way around. Anyway, now I sound like I'm preaching, but trust me when I tell you that 17 weeks into this, my blood sugars are down to an average, an HbA1c average of 6. I've halved, all of my medication, and in some cases totally eradicated the need for my diabetic medication. So does that make sense that I've been able to achieve that? The path I was on was starting down here with just medication, more medication, more medication, insulin and more medication, more insulin, more medication. That's where I was going. And in 17 weeks, I'm not pumping hardly anything into my body. Anyway, so if anyone's got any questions, I would now say direct them to any of my social media platforms at Crazy Keto Guy, and I will endeavour to give you as well informed a reply as I can, or point you in the direction of where I think you can find that out. Again, just to name drop. So, Thomas the Lawyer, I'm going to try and spell it Delauer, Thomas the Lawyer on YouTube, amazing. And he's someone that's lived the life. He started 20 plus odd stone, I can't remember, I want to say 28 stone, but heavy. and now is on the front of health magazines. So Thomas the Lawyer, Dr. Eric Berg, Dr. Jason Fong, Dr. Benjamin Bickman, and Dr. Rhonda Patrick. All of those doctors, when it comes to keto, when it comes to intermittent fasting, I'd say for diabetes, you're looking at Dr. Jason Fong in particular, but I do believe the rest will have quite an input as well. So, but yeah, by all means, message me at Crazy Keto Guy. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube. That's where after today, all of the videos will go. We're going to put all of the old videos on there as well. But as from the next video, not this video will go on the old one as well. But after this one, everything new will be on YouTube at Crazy Keto Guy. Okay, so anyway, hopefully I've not bored anyone to death. Take care of yourself, take care of those that you love, be nice to everyone else if you can, and those idiots that just don't deserve it, just ignore them. Speak to you all soon. Crazy Keto Guy